Hey, welcome back, Brandon Media Strategies. Let's talk about what happened. No, nothing happened. I just moved some stuff. I took out a project from the end of the semester to shift things so we will have more time to properly develop the beginning stages of each of the large assignments. None of the small assignments changed, nothing like that. And so forth, and me doing that, you get an extended redo of sort of Project B Part 1, and now Project B Part 2 is extended, which is due next week, but it's changed a bit and made a little bit easier. We're not getting in Part 2 now. In Part 2 of these series, we're not going to worry about the poster and flyer design yet. That's going to be in Part 3. What I want to concentrate on, because what I've seen happening or kind of saw is like a lot of like last minute or not full thoughts on the development of the brand logo. Now, the brand logo is the main piece. Nobody's ever says, we need you to design a poster, and you design a poster and like, oh, now we need a logo for the event after you did the poster. Like, it's a reverse thing. It's like, the cart before the horse, like it doesn't work. So I wanted to extend this and make sure that we are working with a logo. And then when we do that logo iteration, that we're really thinking about it more. And so that's why I've changed the project. So you may have been doing stuff, getting ready for stuff, and then you kind of see like, oh, wait, what's due today? Nothing's really due unless you didn't do Part 1. Part 1 is due, which is the research and your first 3 logos, which some of you have not done yet. But now we are going into Part 2. As you can see, I switched everything. Things have changed. After this week, you'll never know that there was something different going on. Everything, Tuesday's assignments, are perfectly the same. Every designer needs to know. This is the one I went over. I didn't move any of these, right? Yeah, because I did that quote. None of this has changed. Only the major project. And like I said, not only I changed it to your advantage. You have an extra week to work this out. And what I have changed is simply the logo variations in logo variant. So if you properly did your assignment within for the last week, you are now going to work on that logo. And I want a professionally, Illustrator logo, not Photoshop, not raster, like clean, clear, beautiful, thought about text, vector, so you can change it, you can manipulate, and you can do stuff. So you take the one logo, and I've commented on the people who have done it, and I'm like, this is probably the best one, or I've made those comments. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. I will give you more information about it. I'm happy to do that. But I want the 5 logo variations. Now, what it's very important to assess, these variations should explore different color usage, formats, sizes of logo elements, or introductions of smaller design elements. The goal is to demonstrate a robust and flexible brand asset. They should not all be the same logo, but with 5 color variations. The logo elements should be adjusted as well. If not, I'll say I've seen it happen. Oh, just 10 color variant. The color variant is something that is a given. You develop a logo. I can change the color of that logo. Anybody in the world can change the color of that logo. That doesn't take the designer. So color variants aren't necessarily a variation. I want you to say, like, what if I moved this aspect somewhere else? What if I went from, in my case, I was going from all caps to caps and lower cases. Let's see how that looks and changes it. I added something else to one of mine. So and then I'm working with some positive and negative parts in it. And I want you to explore that. You have one logo. What you do is you make that logo and you say, like, this is my final logo, much like I did with the last project. This is my final logo. Now I'm going to copy and paste that, kind of like take it apart and start moving some of the items around. What if I made this part bigger? What if I made this part smaller? What if I angled this differently? Like that final logo, like what if I changed the font? What if I, change this or that? It's giving you the option to make sure that like your first idea, which these are your first ideas, even no matter what, everybody, you use 3 first ideas, that it's still not the first idea, that you're like, wait, oh no, you know what? I move this like this, it actually creates a better system. And then like, oh, look, maybe one of these 5 variants is going to be a better logo in the end. This is done all the time. If you are so into studying graphic design beyond the graphic design that you take here at MATC, if you look people up, you will see this happen continuously. It's never the final logo until the very end. People are like, oh, what if I adjust this? What if I adjust that? What if I change this? It's Aaron Draplin has a logo. I think Chris Brzezinski shows you the Aaron Draplin logo challenge, where he's just doing something for, like, he makes up a company like concrete, all clad concrete or something like that. And within minutes, he's creating like 17 different logos. But then it comes down to like, what if I adjust this? What if I change this one thing? What if I add lines? What if I make this positive and this a negative? We're not quite done. And so I want those 5 logo variations to show that. But you start with the one and you make it. And you make it and you say, like, this is it. And then you put it aside and you say, I got to make 4 more using these same puzzle pieces. What if I, lower something? What if I adjust or turn something? What if I, I can picture a couple of people's logos and you'll be like, oh, I don't know how to make 5 variations. Well, what if one variation is really sketchy, like, I don't want to say sketchy, but like looks cartoony, while another variation almost looks realistic? So you're changing that attitude. What if one has like fun stuff added to it, like to offset it? Like you could add like little special things in the background that are part of the logo that live only with the logo. I'm not saying but that logo has to live as a logo. And I saw a couple of people are doing these square like logos, and I was like, what the heck's with the square logo? I've never seen a square logo. Okay. Some companies have a square logo, but things in the logo should be complete or enough completed. Not like stuff stops at the edge of this arbitrary box of a logo. Like the logo should be able to live. You eventually you're going to be making a sticker with your logo design. And just look around at stickers, die-cut stickers. Like that's what you want your logo to be. Now, the other thing you're going to do is 2 variants of each of the 5 logos. Well, Joel, I'm doing 5 variations. Well, then you're going to copy each of these 5, and you need to see what the logo looks like on a white background and a black background. I've seen it done. I've seen it done in this course. I've seen it done my entire graphic design life. You create a logo and you're like, this is so great. And within days of that logo being done, somebody's like, we need to put it on a dark background. Can you fix it? And you're like, oh. Or somebody takes your logo and fixes it for you, and it looks horrific. You have to have logo variations into which you can place your logo in more than one situation. And the 2 extremes are a white background and a black background. If you have two variants of a final logo that you can place on a white background and a black background, your logo can generally live anywhere in the world. So in the end, by the end of, or next week Thursday, you will show me 10 logos, 5 on white, 5 on black, but they're matching. I'm not asking you to redo everything. I'm not asking you to create 10 logos. It's create the one logo that you're happy with and then push that in 4 different directions. You've seen me do it, and I'll show you mine. I have some done. I'm not completely done, but I have some done. And there's small tweaks. We need to be able to see the changes. Uppercase to lowercase, all caps, all lower. Change the style of it. Add a little element here or there. Like change an element. Don't be timid. These are logos to help celebrate Custard Festival. Like these should scream to people fun and joy at the Custard Festival. You want to bring your kids. You want your kids to be being like, hey, can I get a sticker? I love that sticker. It's so much fun. I've had so much great time. I went to a festival. I'm not kidding you, a shrimp festival. And my kid went crazy for shrimp. He said it was the greatest parade he's ever been to. It was all about shrimp. He got a shrimp hat with the logo on. The logo was horrific because it was a Lions Club thing. And of course they don't. But everything around it, the hat was the key, this big shrimp hat. And he loved it. It was the visuals. It was so visually great. And that's what stuck to him. And that's why he loved it. You want to create a logo that's going to engage people and make them like, wow, that's great. Oh, I want a shirt with that on it. I want a sticker with that. I'm going to put that on my car. But that logo also has to work in a couple different ways. It can't just be like, oh, sorry, my logo only works one way and one way only. And it's kind of like heartbreaking. Let me show you some stuff and let me talk about this some more. So I hope that makes sense. You have your final logo, and then you're going to do 5 logo variations, and then you're going to copy those 5 logos, and then you're going to put them all on black and fix what needs to be fixed in order for them to work on a black background. So it's just kind of like 9 variations. Again, not that much. The variants should only take you 10 minutes a piece. Like you get that one set up, you really sit and work on it, and you're like, okay, for this next one, set a timer. 10 minutes, I'm going to do this. 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 You're done. And then you put them on black, and you'd be like, okay, this isn't reading right. I need to switch this color. I need to do this. This needs to be outlined. This needs this. This needs this. And you're just going to go down the line. I was trying to think of the quick way to show you some the variants and what won't work right away. And I oddly had a conversation with somebody about this 2 weeks ago. Driving in the car with designers. I have my own show. It's called Driving in Cars with Designers, and we talk about design stuff. Just kidding. But I was in a car talking with another designer, and something came up, and he's like, oh, yeah, I hate it when people think that the reverse logo is just my logo reversed. The reason is this. I got my buddy here, Snoop, right? Snoop. Hey, Joel, I need Snoopy on a black background. And we do this with logos. All right, you need it on a black background? I'll reverse everything. You get a logo and it's got a dog face on it. You got a logo and it's got that looks like an X-ray of Snoopy. That's not Snoopy in a black background, right? That's an X-ray. He doesn't have a white ear. His nose is like the black with a white reflection. Like none of this is working. He's got a black eye. not a white eye. So you have to think like, oh, when I bring this over onto a dark background, what elements do I need to switch so it doesn't look like I'm presenting just simply an X-ray of my logo into which it looks weird. And I've seen this done so many times. And this is part of that process of you, the designer, your brilliant mind, knowing like, okay, I'm going to do it. But always within a week, somebody says, can we get that logo? And we're putting it on something else and it's black. And you're like, oh, okay. Don't use that logo and just switch it to white. I need to change some stuff. I need like ins and outs and this and that. It has to read correctly. So the solution to the black, from my white logo to my black logo is not just reversing it all. It's looking at it and being like, okay, now that's on a black background. What do I need to adjust? So like this whole thing. The inside gets filled with white. The eyeball gets changed. This gets changed. Maybe there like the outline is different. Everything changes. Like actually there's no outline. Like it changes a lot. So you got to think about that. It's more or less like, as dumb as it sounds, it is this. But here it is, it's got fill and it looks right. But I see a lot of people who take their logo and do this because generally on this one, Snoopy has a fill and he's white. But when you develop your logo, you're not thinking about fill, you're working with white and then when you move it to black, oh, my paper went away. My paper is now black and I don't have fill anywhere. What do I have to do to get it to then look like this, where it looks proper when I put it on a black background? Oh, I hate that white edge it's got, but whatever. So, I meant to keep that open. So when developing, and I have subtle changes, and I just started amping up my changes for this design. And I started doing some other stuff, but I did include a little black. And I just want to show you some areas into where I have started to go. This was my first idea. How does it look on black? What do I need to fix for this to work on black? Okay, well, if this was black and I turned it all to white, and I found actually a quicker way to do this because I did this in a different program. If I take this logo and I bring it on here and I switch it to white, am I happy with that? It sort of works, but what I don't like about it is I don't want black custard. Does that make sense? Like I want the custard to still be white. So I have to think about, okay, what can I change so that works better? And so if I take this, bring it down here, and now I would say like, oh, instead of just that reversal, what if I color in white? Switch to my standard blob brush. Oh, Jesus. It's a huge white blob brush. Why does it keep going on this? Sorry. I know that was like, yeah. So I'm just going around. I get the way out of my hand. All right. So part one, this will sort of work. Would I flip out the computer there? Right? That's better. But then I may need to adjust the purple so it works better. But This is not a correct reversal. This is what I would count as this works on a black background. This isn't what I want to see. I want to see it still being positive. You know what I mean? So we have to see, how does this translate when we move it from one to the other? And just because it's on a black background, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything that is dark needs to be light. We have to take that into consideration. Now, the other parts that we can do, you know, like that's the white, but then it'd be like, oh, the purple. Well, maybe we have, you know, a different color, but then we have to make sure that we have white can work with the other color if we want that other color to pop off the black. So, well, maybe then we do something weird, and I have to then take this, which I think I can do, and color drop this, let's say, or maybe I want that in reversed. You know what I mean? Like, so what if I did that? Well, no, I don't want that. But what I want is, it's going to be really hard for me to grab the inside. Where's my lasso tool? I never use it. There it is. And sometimes I hide it. I'm just going to do, it's not going to do it correctly. Because I want to, what if I change that back to the purple? Because I really wanted that purple, so I have to add a secondary color. Oh, okay. So that's the purple, and then I want this to be the blue. There we go. You know, like, so then now I'm readjusting everything. And like maybe the blue, I have that blue because it bounces off the dark color a lot, but I kept the inside color, the original color. So it turns into like a 2-color logo. You know, what's gonna look best on white and then translate to black? Because if I do this in that cyan color, it doesn't work. It kind of gets lost. And the cyan, it looks like water. You know, like there's not enough contrast for me, at least. Who knows? You know, the only reason I have this purple color is because that's when I draw, I switch those colors on each iteration just to help me notify different iterations of what I'm doing. So let's go through. So this is what I'm talking about. Like your logo simply put on black reverse to make a X-ray is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to take the thought and be like, this is my initial logo. But for this logo to work on black, I need to add, subtract, do stuff. And let me just say, please don't just have your answer be like, I'll just put an outline around it. Let's be more creative. Outlines are for amateurs. You're no longer amateurs. So this is iteration 1, all caps, holes in the letters. Iteration 2, all caps. I think I added this splop. I'm doing the scissor things. Okay. And I started to fill in those. Third iteration is upper and lower cases with holes in the middle. Here's a version. So I'm already thinking, but maybe I want this reversed in itself. Maybe the custard, whoa, gotta watch what I'm saying. Maybe the custard should be the dark color, you know, like chocolate. It could be chocolate. And then the writing is a different color. There is that option. So I wanted to give myself that option. This is similar to developing the negative version, but I just wanted to see, like, what if I did a full fill? And then I did it. What's the difference here? Oh, this goes back. I did some changes. I think it's upper and lower, uppercase with lowercase. And then here I did this. This is this version. You know, I was like, oh, what if that, like, when that they scoop it and they put it in and it smushes, you smush it down and it pushes out the bottom. And that's what this part is. Excuse me. That's what I was going with there. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go nuts, and like I got this part, and then I poured chocolate sauce, and so the top is reversed, and it's got chocolate sauce running down. Was not thawed much, Again, it's just getting the idea out. Do I want to have chocolate on it? Do I not want to have like that? That was just the idea. Like, okay, if I do it quickly, at least I can see it. And then this is that bottom reversed out is what all that is showing. I just didn't turn this to the purple color yet. I think that's where I left off. I was like, okay, do one more. And I think I had to put my kid to bed, and I just shut it after that. So I'm still working on my iterations of the logo. But but I have my all that previous work was like signage, super signage, all those weird things I did. And I am maybe not the happiest with the one I picked, but there's something in me that is saying, make it work. I want something like this to work. And I was like, maybe even thinking of adding like, oh, should I add a little cherry on the side? Like, it is Sunday Streets, Frozen Concert Festival. So I may add like, I don't want to do it at the top and keep building high, but I may put like, but I don't want it to look like a rabbit turd on the side. So that's where we're going. So it's just about what can you do to that one logo to keep enhancing, to keep changing, to make people think differently. Hang stuff. But like there's so many funny, because I'm thinking of one student logo in particular where I feel like I'm gonna get the like I don't know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, talk to me. That's why I'm here. I just don't give these lectures and leave. I'm here to help you. Like, show me what you got during the week and be like, I'm stuck. Like, what else should I do? Boom. Within seconds, I'll give you more ideas. I'll get on a video chat with you, whatever it takes. I'm here to help you learn this and do it. But a lot of it, that's like, why I'm adding in this step. That's why I reversed it a little bit. And I'm stalling here. And with the third project we do, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to do presentation and logo development and then logo variations again. So it's very important you get this part right, because then developing the poster and everything else, to me, that's the easy part. It all flows once you understand where you're starting from. You work for Coca-Cola or PNC Bank, like I know what it looks like. I got their style guide. You are creating the style guide, and it starts with your logo. And once you get that, everything can work from there. And doing poster and flyer iterations, we can get that done faster and just make smaller changes. And then all that other stuff leads into the three remaining variants that we do in these assignments. There's always 3 variants, meaning we always do a poster and a flyer, but then we do 3 other things that are completely different from everything else you've done to give you experimentation in working in all different formats and sizes. Let me know where you need help, what I could do for you. So that is what is due next week. Some of you may be a little bit further ahead than you thought. And then I threw this in. You may be like, oh, I got to redo some thoughts. That's okay. You have a whole week. I know this screws people up sometimes. I've heard complaints, complain to me, let me know. But this is actually a reversal. So you get to like kind of shake it off and like maybe be like, you know what, I'm going to adjust this again. I was going down this path already, which I had logo variants for you. That didn't change. I just basically took out the poster part for you and then giving you an extra week. And I took out the poster part. But I already started on the poster. Keep it. Don't throw anything away. You may still use it, but I'm not sure how. So please reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I'm very excited. I love this stuff. I love working with it. Work with me. The more we have a back and forth, the more you show me stuff, and the better it's going to be in the end. Like, you could have portfolio finalized things if you and I go back and forth a couple times a week. I'm here for that. I want you to know that. I'm not just the teacher who's like, just turn it in when it's done. And I have an impossible time figuring out a way for people to be like, show me it mid-week. I used to try that. Now I just put in those midweek reviews and be like, I'll leave it up to you. I cannot answer questions if I don't know what they are. So, cool. There we go. Let me know how I can help you. I'm so excited to work on this stuff. So excited to teach you this. So let me know. And everything should be up to date. Everything is now corrected with this assignment. For those of you who didn't get it in, part 1, and we'll keep cruising. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you on the discussion boards in those midweek reviews so I can help you out. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.